So you're about to make a very, very big decision in your life, whether you're choosing a new career path, whether you're moving on to a new job, whether you're moving to a different country, whether you're choosing to commit to a certain woman, whether you are joining the military, whatever. You're about to make a very, very big, life-changing decision. How do you make that decision? Because I know that for a lot of young people out there, it's a very, very scary decision. And yes, it is very scary. You're moving very, very much into the unknown. And how do you take that leap? Well, a couple of things I want to talk about. And this is how I like to look at it every time that a big decision like that comes my way. I see myself as like a timeline. So you're in three-dimensional space, and the fourth dimension is time. And in those different segments of time, there's a version of you doing whatever. So imagine you're all in a line, all right? You're all lined up, and then you are in the line, somewhere in the middle, and ahead of you, the guy ahead of you, is the version of you, but tomorrow, in the future. And the guy standing behind you in the line is the you from the past. And there's multiple different versions of you. And the line goes all the way until you're a very, very old man. Sitting there, whether you're on a rocking chair, whether you're on a walking cane, whatever, right? It's you, very, very old man, 80, 90 years old. That's you further down the line, way down the line, right? So there are all these different versions of you. And how I see it is that, well, I talk to those different versions of myself. I have conversations with them in my head. For example, if I have something coming up, let's say a big event coming up, then I talk to the version of me from tomorrow when the big event is. Like, hey, what's the big event like? What do I need to worry about? What was it like? What kind of people did you meet? What kind of cool things are there? And imagine the conversation. Start imagining it. And you can sometimes talk to the versions of your past as well. You know, have a bit of fun. Like, hey, remember, talk to your 17-year-old self, or however old you are, 15, 14. You know, hey, remember that time where you had that crush on that chick and you just completely blew it because you didn't know how to talk to chicks? Well, have a laugh about that. Talk to different versions of yourself. And when you talk to that old man, that 80, 90-year-old old man, way down the line, when you talk to him, ask him about that decision that you're about to make. What would he think of it? What would he think if you're too scared to take the leap? I know this is a big problem out there, especially when it comes to jobs and careers, where a lot of people, they're stuck in a job that they don't like or even they hate, and they're too afraid to leave because it's security, right? Sure, you're not going to have that potential to, completely blow up and live the best life possible out of that mediocre job, but it's security. It's guaranteed money. But at the same time, you're not going to accelerate anywhere. And you know that if you were to take the risk where you could lose it all. So ask that old man down the line, what would he think if he was in your position? What would he think? Is that old man going to be sitting there going, oh man, I wish when I was 25, I would have just gone for it instead of being too scared. I wonder what it would have been like. You would never know. That old man down the line would never know. And he's going to be you. How happy he is, how healthy he is, how capable he is. It's all in your hands. If he's going to be you, and if he's going to have a shit life, that's going to be your fault. Nobody else's but your fault. So talk to him. And also think to yourself, which path do I take where I can tell the best stories? Are you going to tell the best stories when you're just sitting in your shit job and you never changed jobs and you just sat there slowly saving your retirement fund, living the same life over and over again? Well, you're going to tell a good story when, I used to have this job I hate, but then one day I just decided I had enough, and then I quit, and then I didn't know what I was doing. I had nothing lined up, and I had this amount of money saved up, and I didn't know what I was going to do, and then I met this person, or I went to this spot, and then I tried doing this and this. Like, you have so many potential to tell so many stories. I mean, it's not going to, most of the time, it's not going to kill you, right? The decisions you make aren't going to kill you. Choosing a new job is not going to kill you. All right. Well, obviously there are exceptions, right? If you, join the military and you die in a war or something, that might kill you. But I'm talking generally speaking, right? If you're working a shit job at McDonald's and you decide that's a shit job and you want to go pursue a career in something else that you're interested in, let's say, drone flying, that's probably not going to kill you, right? Or drone photography, or being a filmmaker, right? Or just being an artist or musician or whatever, that's not going to kill you. But it's better than working at McDonald's, but at the same time, it's a lot of risk. But like I said, there's more stories to tell. And that old man down the line, he doesn't live his life of regret. You're not on your deathbed going, wondering to yourself, like, I wonder what it would have been like if I just went for it. That's the most painful thing. Imagine you're old. You're physically incapable. You remember all the good days when you were young, when you had the unicorn blood, when you could go for nights without sleep, when you had unlimited energy and physical capability. But now you don't have that anymore. But remembering that when you did have that, you didn't do anything about it. You just stayed there at that shit place, completely mediocre. You chose to be average because you were too scared. And you know that you can't do anything about it anymore, because not only are you old and incapable and you don't look as good, but also you don't have much time left. So you're gonna leave that old guy down the line, leave him forever wondering what it's gonna be like, or you're gonna make him proud. Like I said, you're gonna be him. So when he looks back at you when you're at your age right now, is he going to think back and go, man, I was proud of that moment. I was proud that I took the risk. I was proud that I was confident in myself. I was proud that I put myself out there. I was proud that I let myself learn new things. I'm so glad that I exposed myself to this, because I met all these new people. I learned all these new skills. That's what you want, right? And I know it's scary. That's the whole point of it. But if it wasn't scary, then everybody would, easily make those big decisions, just take the leap. But not everybody does, because it's scary. It makes you uncomfortable, doesn't it? Because you're already familiarized with the environment. You're used to your workplace. You're used to the people you see every day. You're used to living in the same place. You're used to driving the same roads. It's all familiar. But what stories are you going to tell out of that? Imagine if you had a family. Because I assume most of you want a nice, happy family. Imagine if you had a family and you're telling your sons, and your son goes, hey, Dad, tell me a story. But you chose to live such an average, mediocre life that you don't have any stories to tell him. You don't have anything interesting. What is he going to think of you? You want to be an inspiration to your kid, right? You want your son to look up to you and be like, wow, my dad's cool. My dad's awesome. My dad's done all this. My dad's done that. My dad can do this. My dad can do that. He's been here. He's been there. That's awesome, having a kid look up to you like that. Gives them status. Gives you more credibility as an adult to guide and teach them. But if you choose to live that same life over and over again, well, what are you going to teach him? What stories are you going to tell him? He's going to look up to you and start thinking when he grows up. When he's 15, 16, he's going to wonder, why does Dad never tell me any stories? Why does Dad never set me down for any life lessons? Well, my dad always told me that I could be what I wanted to be, but did my dad wanted to work at the same office all the time? Was that really all he wanted? Either that, or your dad's, or maybe I can be what I want to be, or I can't be what I want to be, and my dad's lying to me. That's what your son will think. If you don't show him, if you don't go out, experience, take the risks while you're young, while you're capable, if you don't do that, that's what your future family is going to think. Do you know? You're young. You have plenty of time. I know like some 18-year-old kids, when I speak to some 18-year-old kids, then they just left high school, they're like, oh my God, like I left high school, suddenly I'm on to this world, oh crap, I gotta get this together, I don't have much time, blah, blah, blah. Just chill out, relax. You're 18. You have plenty of time. Do this for 2 years. Learn that skill for another 2 years. You're still 22, still young. Maybe do this for a couple of years. Maybe go live in a different country for a couple of years. Maybe follow this mentor for a couple of years. See where he takes you. You have plenty of time. You got nothing but time. When you're 18, you literally have no life experience. You have no wisdom. You have no insights. You have barely any experience with women. You have nothing when you're 18. You literally have nothing but time. So when you're young, go take those leaps. Because otherwise you're going to regret not doing it. That old man down the line, he's going to go back and talk to you. Be like, hey man, why didn't you take the risk? I'm over here just so miserable, wondering what would have happened, and it haunts me and I can't do anything because you didn't take the risk. It was all your fault. Don't let that old version of you down. Make him proud. Talk to him. If it's like, hey, remember when you were 25 and you had to make a decision between joining the military and doing this, or going to this country and staying here? What did you do? What stories do you have? Ask the old man that. Make him proud. And that should guide your decision. And that's just how it is. You'll always find the better version of yourself, the version of yourself that you want to be, on the other side of fear and the other side of hardship and uncertainty. It is what it is. So take the leap and go make him proud. And remember to stay focused and stay relentless.